Okay, so today I will be talking about value-based pricing. And it's quite an interesting one because I'm currently in an industry that price very, very simplistic. Even though people are generating around 2, 3, 5 million pounds for their clients and they are charging upfront fixed fees, it doesn't make any sense to me. I believe there's a lot of money being left on tables. Commercials are failing left, right, and center, and it all stems from pricing, right? How do you get your client to say yes to you? They agree on a price. And that is what the info industry is missing as a whole. And this is where I'm going to add my value. Let's talk about some pricing mechanisms. They can be quite complex, but I'm going to explain them in simple layman terms. Let's begin with retainer-based pricing. Now, retainer-based pricing is always going to be a fixed fee. It's quite simplistic. Think of it as like a phone contract. You pay £10 per month, same as a commercial contract. Say the deal is 1.2 million. You pay £100,000 at the end of every month. That is a retainer-based pricing mechanism. A lot of these can be mixed as well. That's the beauty of it. It's all about mixing these and creating some form of psychological illusion that makes the client feel as though you're doing justice for them, but in reality, there's a gain on your end as well, right? It's all very psychological, this. You're going to see what I mean by that when I get to quantitative and qualitative. The next one is milestone-based pricing. Now, milestone-based pricing is tying collected cash from your client to milestones, such as, I'll give an example. The first milestone of this consulting project is when my team successfully integrates new custom-made CRMs into the business and all employees are logged in and they are using them efficiently. That might take 3 weeks. That's milestone 1. Upon milestone 1, you're going to get paid X amount. Milestone 2 is when my employees, or when my client's employees have generated X amount with this new CRM and they haven't experienced any difficulties or flaws and the CRM is up to standard or up to par, that's milestone 2. We get paid out of that. You get what I'm saying here. It's tied to milestones and specific benchmarks within the project. You can even go off a construction site, for example. Upon you building 2 of the flats, we're going to pay you 50%. When you build the total 4 flats, we're going to pay you 100%. Simple as that. This now leads me on to qualitative-based pricing, and this is where things gets very interesting. Quantitative-based pricing, qualitative-based pricing. These are both performance-based pricing mechanisms. And when we talk about qualitative-based pricing, we tie a fee to something qualitative like initiating more trust within a brand, right? And the way we can do that is by integrating more middle of funnel content, as our client probably sells a product or service through their personal brand. And people nowadays buy into people, not products or services. So that's where qualitative comes in handy. And that's where me as a consultant can say, upon us integrating 10 middle of funnel piece of content into your personal brand, we're now making you come across as a more credible and trustworthy individual, so people will actually buy into you more, right? In turn, this is going to increase acquisition and conversions. Another example as well is, say a content consultant has been hired and he wants to charge his client on a quantitative pricing fee. And part of that is this guy's going to be like, I'm going to better your personal brand. I'm going to make you more money through bettering your personal brand. I'm going to make everything look more professional. And the fact that this consultant has made his client's personal brand more professional, he can then increase his average order value as he comes across as a more premium service provider. And not only does bettering someone's personal brand allow you to up the AOV, but it actually starts to attract more ICP leads who have higher intent. There's all of these back-end sort of green flags that happen. And you can see how you can tie a fee to qualitative things like this. Now we're on quantitative-based pricing. And this one here is a bit more simple, but even more effective, probably more used as well. And quantitative-based pricing is, there's 1,000 examples for all of these. And let's just say I'm a B2B coach, right? I consult on people making money through content. And you can then tie in quantitative-based pricing as upon integrating your SOPs as a consultant into your client's workflow, and your client then makes £500,000 in extra sales from your SOPs, you can then tie a quantitative performance fee to that and say, we're going to take 15%. And the beauty of that is you mix this quantitative-based pricing with retainer-based pricing, because the retainer comes across as really cheap. So you vacuum in your client and you beat your competitor on price initially. But then once this quantitative-based pricing fee is attached to it, it makes your client, your client's not even thinking about this, but in turn you make more money because it's not just a fixed fee. Oh, right, we just charge £15,000 for this. There's not even a definitive result. But when you add this, your consulting team then has to work harder because you get more money based on your client's results getting better. So it's a win-win, honestly. That one is very, very interesting. And you can mix retainer-based pricing with all of these. I wouldn't mix these two. I'd keep one simplistic pricing mechanism like retainer-based pricing, mix it with quantitative or qualitative. Milestone-based pricing usually sits by itself. But yeah, I have ambitions of integrating this into the info space. People are just leaving so much money on the table with just fixed fee pricing, retainer-based pricing, right? Nowadays, there's consultants generating 400-500K for their clients, and they've just charged them 15K. But in reality, what they should do is mix the retainer-based pricing, suck them in for a cheap price. Look, we only want 10K up front. But then upon us implementing our consulting strategies that generate you 1 million in sales, we're just going to take 15% on month 4. Right? Simple. But yeah, that video kept on cutting off. I apologize. Peace out. Everyone have a good day.